Hi, my name's Audra Hajj, and I am here with Bob Weeks. It is such an honor to be with you. I am now the COO of Cardio and Heart Wellness. Why? Because of this man, because of his dedication. You know, being a person who has built and restructured many different companies, I know what to look for in a winning horse, because really business is a race. And when I saw the jockey and I saw the horse that he created in his product, I knew that this was something that was going to impact the masses. Now, I didn't take this decision lightly. One of the things that happened for me that made me decide to hook my cart to yours was we went to the nutraceutical company. And I wanted to see the lab and the high tech and the facility that this product was made in. Boy, did I see that and so much more. One of the things that happened at that meeting that kind of sealed the deal for me is when the gentleman who runs the company, second generation, his father started the company, went down to him, and he sat in front of me and he said, I've known this man for over 10 years. He is not the only nitric oxide product that we develop by any means. But I'll tell you what, Audra, he's the only product myself, my family, my friends, and my colleagues take.
I never realized that was such impactful.
It was so impactful. I mean, think about it. He sees products every single day.
Yeah.
He sees the supposed products that have the supposed ingredients, which we are going to discover in this series of videos, what that truly means or doesn't mean.
Yeah.
But what I want to do right now is I want people to get to know you, because I have just come to adore you. And I want people to really understand the sacrifice. I mean, what you did, first of all, as a successful businessman, you were not hurting for money. You had a great life. You've been very successful in the past. You didn't exactly get into this game because you thought you were going to make $1 million.
It never crossed my mind, actually.
So tell me a little bit about your journey. How, and do you have any kind of ailments or heart or cardiovascular history in your family?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, my mother died when she was 45 of a cardiovascular event. And she died in her sleep, and we didn't know she was sick.
I can't imagine. You know, I think a lot of people watching this video might be able to relate to that story. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of curious. Do you know here in America, how many people have some kind of a cardiovascular or heart disease?
Well, that's an interesting question, because there are 160 million people in the United States that have some form of cardiovascular disease, and 28 million have congestive heart failure.
My gosh, those numbers are staggering.
And 1 million people die every year of those two things.
I mean, when you hear something like that, I got to tell you, the first thing I think of is, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? There's nothing we can do about it. Well, I guess there is something we can do about it. And through the events, I'm so sorry for the loss of your mother. And then I believe that event made you start looking at yourself, correct? So your mom dies. And then how did you react to that? What was the motion or what did you set in motion?
Well, I was 28 years old, and I thought, wow, I didn't know that I could have that same disease. But what I did know was I was going to try to do something about it. So I started running. And over the next 32 years, I went through 10 running partners, averaging between 3 and 5 miles every day, and then running a marathon and, upping my game.
Okay, that makes sense. You find out, hey, I might have some history. What can I do? The only thing that at the time that you knew that you could tangibly, the changes you could make was to exercise, to run. I think that's very common. So then...
Well, it was not very common then, because when I was out running, I seldom ran into anybody else running. No women, maybe younger men than me were out jogging a little bit, but not a lot of people running. It was rare to see a runner.
So how old what year was this?
This was probably 1970.
1970. Okay. All right. So you start running, And then I believe another strike happens in your family with your brother. What happens with your brother?
Well, actually, before my brother had the event of a heart attack and died, I actually, at age 50, I discovered that my cardiovascular age was 120 years of age, and my blood pressure was 250 over 150. And I was 50 years of age at this point in time after running 32 years.
So that's like a age system inside of what, 120?
Yes, I had the blood flow of a 120-year-old.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I mean, you're a runner now. You find out this information.
After I'd run for 32 years.
Oh my goodness.
So I realized it didn't do anything to help that aspect of my health.
Okay.
There are advantages to running.
Absolutely.
But certainly not solving cardiovascular disease.
Okay. All right. So what happens next in your life?
Well, that was when I was 50 years of age. So for the next 5 years, I tried to find a solution going to 5 different cardiologists. And every one of them had the same statement, and that is, get used to medication, you're on it for life. There's no solution to this that's going to keep you alive except being on statins and high blood pressure medication.
Wow, how did that make you feel?
Well, I knew that I was on medication for life, but I didn't like that idea. And then by accident, I ran into an old employee of mine who had teamed up with a company that was selling a arginine product.
Okay.
And he gave me a jar of it, and I took it. And then a few months later, he said, how'd it go? I said, well, I didn't notice anything. He says, well, why don't you buy 4 of these jars and start taking them? And so I did. I was spending $300 a month. And I took a blood flow test after 90 days, and I had reduced my cardiovascular age by 10 years.
10 years?
By 10 years in 90
And how long
days.
had you been taking the product?
90 days.
10 years and 90 days?
Yeah.
Well, I like this. Are we talking dog years? We're talking human years? What are we doing here?
Yeah,
this is fantastic.
I was pretty shocked, actually.
Okay.
So I knew I was onto something.
Okay.
And so then I took it for the next year, spending $300 a month. And I decided to join the company and become a distributor.
Okay.
And then I had run into a book written by Louis Ignarro, who was one of the Nobel laureates. And it was called No More Heart Disease. And I started giving it out to people, and I became the #1 distributor in the company of 30,000 distributors because of the book.
Wow.
I wasn't a genius by any means.
Well, I'll tell you, something interesting about that remark is that knowledge is power. So giving them that book and giving people the hope that you can control, you do have some say-so in this situation, in a world where we're constantly told by doctors, you're going to be on medication for life.
Yeah.
This is what your life's going to look like. Just get used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, what a courageous thing. I mean, at this time, you're making money. You have not a worry in the world, but you decide to put everything into creating your own line of products. I mean...
Well, I did. Once I discovered that I had this ability to sell this product, I basically ran into Dr. Rainer Boger from Germany, who had at this point in time studied cardiovascular disease and arginine for about maybe 10 years at this point in time.
Okay.
Actually, he had started in 1988 with the 3 guys that got the Nobel Prize.
Okay.
He probably could have been one of them if he'd have turned the stuff in time. That's what he told me. But in any event, I got to know him, and that was significant.
Okay. So you meet this doctor. Here's the beauty. Doctors are not business people. Business people are not doctors. I'm hearing some magic about to happen here. So you two end up collaborating. And is that how this product came about?
Well, actually, once I recognized, and I had an engineering degree, so I could at least comprehend words. And I, at this point in time, decided that I was going to get to know him. He was from Germany. He spoke fluent English. He was educated in English schools, so he spoke fluent English. And at that point in time, I started to follow him around, listening to him give speeches. And one of his speeches he gave was on the ADMA molecule in Los Angeles at a big arena. There was 1,000 people there. And I got there a couple of days before he was going to speak. And I said, let's go drive down the road to San Diego and come back. You've never seen that before. And so we did. We'd stop for lunch, we'd stop for dinner. Mm-hmm. And then at that point in time, we got to know each other.
Okay. So he's been doing this research. He's understanding nitric oxide. He's understanding I personally call nitric oxide the miracle molecule. And I feel like it's the best kept secret.
It is.
And I feel that you've dedicated your life to create 3 different products to help get this this unbelievable secret out to the world at a huge personal risk to you, which is so unbelievable. My understanding is that you had yourself tested. It was a 120-year-old system. You started to take things into your own hands, including get an X-ray. Is that correct? Tell us a little bit about that part.
Well, first of all, taking the product for a year, 4 times the normal dose, I reduced my age down to 20.
Your inside age down to 20.
My blood flow age went down to a 20-year-old.
Whoa. Okay.
And by this time, a couple of years after doing that, I then started chasing Dr. Boger with the idea of building a product.
Okay.
And during those 2 years, I discovered from him that the product I was taking was not very effective. And when he had advised the company to change their formula, he was on their advisory board, and they didn't. That's when he decided that he would make a deal with me and try to build a product, and we did. It took us a year to build a product once he decided to.
Amazing. That's incredible. So you took some X-rays, I know, from a clinic that you found here that was willing to work with you. And I know that your system was going up every year consistently. And
well,
you started...
my calcified plaque was.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, so that happened some years after I'd formed this company.
Okay.
And what happened was my brother, who was 14 years younger than me, died of a heart attack. And he wasn't taking the product because he was allergic to one of the ingredients, which was curcumin, and caused him massive headaches. So he had this event happen where a piece of the calcified plaque broke off, went into his heart, and killed him. He died of a heart attack. Well, at that point in time, I decided to see if I had the same condition. I did. I went in for an MRI test on my exam on my heart, and I realized that I had the same disease. And talking with Dr. Boger, he says, well, now you know that calcified plaque is not solved by nitric oxide, so don't be telling people that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so how do I solve it? Well, I don't know. We don't have a solution. So over the next 5 years, I went in for a test every year, and I was going up 15% on my calcified plaque. And I was trying different things during those first 4 years. And then finally, I heard about the testing and science and research that Dr. Linus Pauling had done in the 40s. And I tried that, which was vitamin C. So I added high doses to our cardio wellness product. And after 1 year, I was able to stop the increase of the 15% of my calcified plaque and reduce everything 10%. Well,
Wow.
At that point in time, I knew I was on to something damn important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So through your own personal experiences, nothing happens by accident, I believe. We are always pushed to what we were meant to do, the impact that we were meant to leave in this world. And I just find it so incredible that through your own story, you went from a 120-year-old inside system to what is it now?
20-year-old.
And what is your blood pressure then versus now?
It's 130/90,
Incredible.
which is pretty normal for an older man.
Incredible. So I just wanted people to take a little time to get to know you, to understand the journey, the personal sacrifice, and so many people who are watching this video right now. I guess what we really want you to take away from this video is it is not hopeless. There are things that you can do. The supplement that he has spent his life, not just one supplement, but 3. He's in 3rd generation of these supplements, dedicated his life to give you control, to give you options to be able to go in, understand your system, and really dig in deep. I'm going to tell you right now, through my research and being next to this gentleman, all supplements are not equal. So stay tuned. We are going to have an incredible micro segment videos that we are going to be doing on topics most important to you. So stay tuned. This is just a little bit longer video because we want to have you get to know us. We're so excited that you're here. So this wraps up this topic. Is there anything you want to say at the end as to how you got here and why you did this for the people watching this video?
Well, I would say this, that at my age of 83, after being on these products now for 15 years, I function mentally like a younger man, usually in the 60s, and I perform like a younger man. I just climbed a mountain 8,000 feet from sea level 2 years ago, and I met people going up and down who couldn't believe I could do that at 80 years of age.
It's incredible.
So it just hit me all of a sudden that I was functioning different than what they were expecting 80-year-olds to action like and think like.
Incredible. Well, Bob, thank you so much for your dedication. Thank you so much for making these products and putting so much on the line for us to be able to take control, have knowledge, and be able to apply that knowledge in a way that makes sense. Thank you so much, Bob.